Hello and welcome to Mentor Moments. I'm your host and current content marketing intern, Lauren Pearson. And today I have Eric with me. I'm so excited to talk with him today. And before we begin, I'll pass it over to Eric so he can introduce himself.
Thanks, Lauren. Great to see you. Yeah, I'm Eric Endlich. I'm a clinical psychologist and educational consultant specializing in helping neurodivergent students around the world apply to and transition to college and grad school. And I'm neurodivergent myself.
Awesome. Okay. Without further ado, we'll just jump into our questions. So the first question is, how does your neurodiversity allow you to perceive the world differently?
Well, I think for all of us who are neurodivergent, we have a different way of interacting with and perceiving the world. So it's not just me, but I think one of the key things really is being hyper focused. So I may notice things that other people don't notice. The flip side, of course, is I may not notice things that other people do notice or things that I should be noticing. But being hyper-focused allows me to dive into real detail and depth and intensity with things that I'm passionate about, which includes neurodiversity in college.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of feel like with my neurodiversity, it's kind of similar with like the hyper focus thing. And yeah, it's definitely like a blessing, but then like sometimes I don't know how to switch it off. So it can be challenging at times. Okay.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
agree.
So, at Mentra, we believe that neurodivergence is an asset rather than a weakness. So we coined this term neuroexceptional talent, which refers to like your unique strengths that no one else has. So in lieu of that, what's your neuroexceptional talent?
Yeah, well, again, I think that the hyper focus really is a big part of all the things that I end up being good at. I think, I got interested in helping autistic and neurodivergent students. Even before I became an educational consultant, I was really interested in autism. I'm an autism parent as well as an autistic adult. And so I think that hyper focus allowed me to really dive deep and learn a lot about the things that I'm interested in, and then other interests. I'm interested in words, I'm interested in films, music, lots of different things. So it allows me to have really in-depth, interesting conversations with people, I think, and to be good at what I do. But like I said, there's a flip side to being hyper-focused. I mean, literally so focused on what I'm doing sometimes that I bump into things. So, it's there's an upside and downside to everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, like you kind of described earlier with your career as like a psychologist and then being like an educational consultant, how do you empower neurodivergence in your job and then like in turn and also the advocacy efforts that you participate in?
Well, my mission is to make my vision is for a world in which higher education and employers, all organizations really are more inclusive. And that includes being inclusive of neurodiversity, disability, gender, race, different income levels. So inclusive across the board. It's just that my particular focus is on neurodiversity. So I think that because it's something that I'm really involved in, that comes across in working with students, and I help students feel, as you said, in terms of a strength or a superpower, help them see that what maybe for them being different has been a challenge, or maybe has led to bullying or feeling excluded, that there is a place for everyone, that especially as you get older, move into college and beyond college, there's so many niches and opportunities in the world. High school tends to be a lot more constraining, a lot more limiting for a lot of people, and they feel like, I can't make friends, or I can't really find the things I want to do. But I think once you get past that, there's so many opportunities, whether it's different majors in college or different clubs to join, that I can really help students feel that they will succeed. And as a neurodivergent person, I think also I can kind of set an example.
Yeah, I totally agree with the whole, yeah, high school. Yeah, it's it's interesting and it's hard for us that are those of us that are different. And it's kind of, it's challenging because it's not a one size fits all kind of situation. But I guess it also makes me more excited for the future going into like post-secondary and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I totally understand how um you say about with high school there's a lot of constraints, and then like with not necessarily conforming to like societal like standards or like social norms, peers and stuff, it can just add a ton of challenges. But I really like how through your work you're kind of, I don't know, allowing kids to just kind of find themselves and be their true authentic self in whichever college that is the best for them.
Yeah, and I try to be patient and non-judgmental. So I don't. I think it helps people feel like they can be themselves and they don't have to mask.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay, so Mentra, we try to foster the relationship between employers and neurodiversity advocacy. So we recognize the importance of this connection. For other neurodivergents that are looking to get a job, what would your advice be?
Well, check out Mentra, certainly. And nobody paid me to say that.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. I've been a fan of Mentra for years. But if you Google, neurodiversity job search or autism employers or various different combinations like that, you can find both employers that are neurodiversity affirming, as well as various platforms or websites that may have pulled together a lot of resources for you. And of course, there's organizations like ASAN that have also created good resources. So network, connect with other people in the industry that you want to go into, as well as other neurodivergent professionals, and find out, what resources did they use. Connect with me or you or other people on LinkedIn, and don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. There's so many great resources out there. There's a lot of employers that are looking for neurodivergent talent. Sure, it's not as large a percentage as any of us would like to see, but it's a growing number. So believe, have faith that there are employers and opportunities out there, and connect with people who can help you find them. And then, of course, lots of folks, including me, end up being self-employed or starting their own business, and that can be a good option for people too. So it doesn't have to, be figuring out how you're going to fit in the workplace.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We've had a couple people on Metro Moments, yeah, take like the self-employed route and that kind of thing. And it's quite interesting because I feel like for neurodivergence, you can really tailor it towards like your strengths and everything like that. So it's definitely like a very interesting option to kind of, work
There's
in your unique factors.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for being in organizations for at least a period of time to understand other things outside of yourself and how different organizations work. I worked in various organizations in mental health for many years, and I miss the collegiality of coming into the office and having a group team of people to hang out with and chat with. So there's definitely an upside to it, but there's lots of upsides to being your own boss too.
Definitely. Okay, so for our last question, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they reach out?
Go to go to topcollegeconsultants.com, or email me at Eric, ERIC, at topcollegeconsultants.com. And you'll see lots of free resources on the website. I realize not everybody wants to or can afford to hire a consultant, so I try to make lots of resources available, like a list of neurodiversity friendly colleges and videos and podcasts and so on. So you can learn a lot even if you aren't looking to hire someone.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure to put all those links in the description of the video. So if anyone's interested, they can check you out. And then on that note, that concludes our metronomic segment with Eric, and thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Lauren.